What's going on, people? This time, I am going to go straight into it. So, we're going to start here. So, the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission. So, for those that don't know or have never heard of accredited investors, I want to break down something for you. So, accredited investors for companies raising capital, the the accredited investor definition largely determines who is in their pool of potential investors, and for investors whether they are eligible to invest in many early staged companies. Many of the offering exemptions under the federal security laws limit participations to accredited investors or certain restrictions on participations by non accredited investors. So the non accredited investors are or people like us, minimum wage, um, I would say less than $100,000 a year, on and on and on. Accredited investors are people with they're making a lot of money. Let's say that. Now, early stage companies. So let's say, for example, if someone created a company that built a microchip that enhanced telephones, and at the early stages of this company, it was worth, let's say, $6 million, and they needed investors. Let's say you did your research and you looked into this company, and man, this company has something going on. They can they're going to make it. They're going to set standards. And you decide to say, you know what? I got a little bit of money that I can invest. If I lose it, I lose it. I don't, I don't. You know, you're going to take that risk. Well, you, as a non accredited investor, cannot invest in that at that time $6 million company because you don't have the you don't meet the standard of the accredited investor. So you will miss out. Even though you did all your research, even though you chose to use your money that you've earned and say, you know what, I am willing to lose this. If I lose it, I lose it. It's not going to hurt me. You cannot. And the reason why I say that is financial criteria, excuse me, for an accredited investor. Net worth over 1 million, excluding primary residence, individual, or with your spouse or partner. So you got to be worth over $1 million. How many people you know have that kind of change that are worth that? So that blocks people like us out automatically. This is why I said this early stage company that is worth $6 million at the beginning, that has developed this chip for a telephone that will that the research you did, this company is going to make it. You can't invest because you're not worth over $1 million. It's not excluding your home. So if your home is worth 500,000 or 600,000, you still can't because it's excluded. Okay. Income over 200,000 individual, meaning just you, dad, not you and mom. You, dad, you have to make over 200,000 individually, or 300,000 with spouse or partner in each of the prior 2 years and reasonably expects the same for the current year. So this criteria right here automatically knocks out, I would say, 95% of people in America. So you cannot build your wealth on a company that you know going to make it at its early stage. Let's say um, Microsoft at its early stage, and you really want to put a lot of money in there that you are willing to lose. You can't. You're not an accredited investor. Professional criteria. Investment professionals in good standing hold the General Securities Representative License, Series 7. I don't know what that means. The Investment Advisor Representative License, Series 65, or the Private Securities Offering Representative License, Series 82. See, all these words, how would you, someone at my level or your level, minimum wage, how will we know all of this unless you hire someone to explain this to you? That's one way they block you out from building wealth. Not saying that there are not other ways. They are, but this is a really, really good way to build your wealth. I mean, there are a lot of people that have built their wealth off of investments, early investments. Are you catching what I'm are you catching what I'm throwing out? So by this is one way they have put a rule that they put in to stop people like us from making it. Again, I'm not trying to play the victim role, but unless you can explain what this does, then I mean, what else can you do? What else can you say? All right, so we're gonna go out of this one. This is the accredited investor. Um, look it up for yourself, and read deeper into it. What I want to go into next is, so they said they revamped it, and here we go. Here, uh, here, here, here. All right. So the SEC modernized the accredited investor definition as of 2020. Hmm. Let's see. The Securities and Exchange Commission today adopted amendments to the accredited investor definition. One of the principal tests for determining who is eligible to participate in our private capital markets. Historically, individual investors who do not meet specific income or net worth tests, regardless of their financial sophistication, have been denied the opportunity to invest in our multifaceted and vast private markets. So they admitted that we have been denied. Hmm. Now, I wonder what they did in order to fix this. What do you think? Probably nothing. But you know what? Let's scroll on down to see what they did. Highlights. Highlights. Let's see. I don't want to read all of this because it's very long. Um, do your own research, people. Look this stuff up yourself. If you want to change something, then you have to change something. Stop paying attention to what these news channels are telling you, these financial places are telling you, the SEC is telling you. With Stop listening and start looking for yourself. Look this stuff up and then make a fuss to your senators, your congressmen, or congresswomen, your mayors, your governors, whoever you have to, and ask these questions. Why are we being blocked from even trying to get into it? You, as a grown man or a grown woman that can make your own decisions, that are smart enough to actually do your own research and are willing, if you want to invest, to lose what little bit of money that you want to invest, you're okay with it. I mean, you should be able to. You made that choice. But they, in my opinion, from the things that they do and the regulations that they put in place, are saying, look, you're not smart enough to do this. So we're going to help you. We want to protect you. I'm a grown man. If I want to lose this money, then I'll lose it. I made this choice, not you. But anyway, let's see what it did. Clarify that limited liability companies with $5 million in assets may be accredited investors and add the SEC and the state registered investment advisor, exempt reporting advisors, and rule business investment companies to the list of entities that may qualify. Again, people, I don't want to read all of this, but if you read it, if you are willing to read all of this and get into it, I mean, really get into it, you will see they didn't change anything. They just changed the wording to make it look like they did something, to make it look like. Again, listen to what they say, but watch what they are doing. They don't give a damn. And look it up for yourself, people. Now, I want to end this video with this. I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to go into here. Here. Bear with me, people. Bear with me. Bear with me. So, Matt, I may be saying his name wrong. Sorry if I am saying your name wrong. Matt Gaetz. He's a Republican from Florida. And he has something to reveal. Now, this is the man from the inside. We have heard about these stock traders within Congress. Nancy Pelosi. There's a few others that have gotten filthy rich because they are allowed to invest, but we are not. Now, the problem is, how are they allowed to invest in companies that they regulate? They create the rules for these companies that they're investing in. So of course they know what's going on. Isn't that insider trading? A little weird, isn't it? Okay. Well, let me play this because I don't want this to be too long. But let's hear what Mr. Matt has to say.
Nice to see you, James. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, absolutely.
You think that we're actually putting the needs of the people first around here? We're not. And if they want to know why, it's because of money.
You've got a few allies. Who do you think is doing this right in terms of their approach, and who do you like working with on this issue?
Raja Krishnamurthy, a Democrat from Illinois who doesn't see eye to eye with me on a lot of things, but we're working on legislation together to ban this. Even centrist Republicans like Brian Fitzpatrick, someone who voted to impeach President Trump, right?
Even someone like AOC, more of a household name. Has she pulled you aside and sort of given you an earful about this stuff?
Look, AOC is flawed in a lot of ways, right? She's not a particular fan of mine, and I don't celebrate much of her work. But one thing I can tell you about her, she's not corrupt. And that is meaningful to me, because even if someone is wrong, but they hold those views sincerely, there's at least an opportunity for persuasion. With the people who are...
All right, people. I'm going to let this play for a little while, at least to about 20 minutes, because I want y'all to I want you to understand something. And I can explain it, but I'd rather for you to listen to this man right here who is on the inside. He's seeing all of this and he's exposing it. Just listen. Again, you don't have to truthfully believe what this man is saying unless you just look. All you got to do is pay attention. It has already been proven that Nancy Pelosi has gotten caught red-handed for insider trading. And a few other people, unelected bureaucrats, that have been doing this insider trading. And none of them are locked up. Nancy Pelosi is still standing on these podiums giving speeches. Don't tell me how was that right, but we vote these people in to benefit us, but they're benefiting themselves while they're pooping on us. Anyway, I'm gonna let this play and let this man talk.
Are bought and paid for by lobbyist donations, by personal emoluments and enrichments, and by the utilization of inside information to make money in the stock market, those people are not persuadable.
In 2012, after a glut of negative press, Congress passed a law called the Stock Act, which required them to disclose their trades.
We should limit any elected official from owning stocks in industries that they have the power to impact.
There was this belief that you didn't have to ban congressional stock trading. You could just require disclosures, and that those disclosures would shame people into conduct that was better and more virtuous, and that created more public trust around lawmaking. The reality is folks have become so brazen, like they're willing to tell you that they're on the Armed Services Committee and trading Raytheon stock.
You mean to tell me that shaming does not work on Capitol Hill?
No, it turns out that congressional stock trading will occur in an ecosystem of shamelessness. The reason this is allowed to persist in the absence of stronger laws, because both sides are doing it, right? Bipartisanship can be one of the most insidious things in this town when it's bipartisan corruption, when it's a bipartisan consensus around self-dealing and self-enrichment. And that's what we have here.
It's clear there's plenty of self-dealing and self-enrichment, but who are the worst offenders? Congressman Gaetz offered to take us on a tour.
So one of the committees where people have a lot of information is the Appropriations Committee, because they can view almost any vector of government funding. And so, this is Mr. Rutherford's office. He's on the Ethics Committee and the Appropriations Committee. 152 stock trades. Stocks go through the roof. And
are y'all starting to see the picture? Again, like I said, Nancy Pelosi is not the only one. And Democrats are not the only party. I ain't gonna say it's all of them, because it's not all the Democrats are bad people, and it's not all the Republicans are bad. It's the bad ones that are speaking loud as hell that are the corrupt ones. You got the Republicans fighting the Democrats, fighting the Republicans, saying they're bad and they're doing this. It's all of them. It's both parties. Again, I'm gonna take that back. It's not all of them. It's both parties. Both parties have a lot of dirty people within them. This face, remember this. You already know what Nancy Pelosi looks like. There's a few others. I don't want to play this whole thing. I will leave the link below. Watch it yourself. I'm gonna let him expose maybe one more person, and then I'm gonna just sign off. Okay.
And, actually bought Raytheon stock the day that Russia invaded Ukraine.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if every American could make money off of war.
Yeah, setting aside the whole shame and ethics questions. How many more on our hit list here?
There are a few more. I wish there were fewer on the hit list. I wish we could only stop at one or two offices, but as it turns out, energy is a sector that sees a lot of congressional stock trading.
Sure.
And we have members who are on the Energy Subcommittee of Appropriations, like Michael Guest, chairman of the Ethics Committee, and he's traded somewhere between tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars in energy stocks. He's been buying online gaming stocks and just making a killing on them. So you would think that the people that were on the Ethics Committee would be your best allies in this fight, but indeed they're some of the most prolific traders. And not only trading, but in the case of Mr. Guest, trading in an area where he has access to energy information more so than almost any other American.
And no indication.
Well, people, there you go. Now, if they are allowed to do this, shouldn't we? Shouldn't we be allowed to do this? We voted them in to benefit us, and they are taking advantage of it to benefit themselves. Look, people, we have the power to fix this. There's nothing we can do what happened in the past. That is water under the bridge. But we can fix from now forward. Go before your senators, your congressmen, congresswomen, your mayors, your governors, and let them know, look, if you want to keep your seat, fix this. Fix it, or you won't get voted back in. It's just that simple, people. But you have to stand. You got to stand and let them know where you stand. If not, this will continue. The middle class will be eradicated, and there will be only two classes, rich and poor. And if you don't see that's happening right now, you are blind. Now you're starting to see one of the reasons why it's happening. Let's fix this, people. We, the people, have the power. We have the power to vote. And people like Matt Gaetz, thank you for letting this out. Until then, people, peace.